All right, ladies and gentlemen, episode 12, Boro Tailgate Talks, and I will introduce the guest first, and then there's something we got to talk about. All right, our guest today, another good friend of mine, I guess, Caden Loutzenhiser. Caden, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on the show, guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, we're big Pitt guys, you know. Love
Big
to talk
Pitt guys.
Love to talk about Pitt. Love to discuss Pitt and cry about Pitt because there's a lot of crying when you're a Pitt fan.
A lot of crying, blood
Yeah.
pressure raises.
Yeah, but so we're gonna start off with something that it's not sports related, I guess, and I was debating if I was gonna talk about it or not, but after Alex and I had a discussion, we got to discuss it in a way where it just ends. So Alex, it's up to you if you want to say something. It doesn't matter, but
I was gonna say you're actually you I know you have something you want to say, so I'll let you take the lead.
Okay. So our former floor director, and I'm not gonna say his name. I'm not gonna name drop because there is a time to name drop somebody and not a time to name drop somebody. And if you truly want to be the professional here, you don't name drop.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm going to do. Recently, said person was unhappy with the role we gave him, but Alex and I, we thought, and when we look around, when we're in the studio back at Edinburgh when it's school time, we always like to think of, okay, how do we get Joe involved? How do we get Richie involved? So that's what we do because it's fun like that to have different rules for everybody. And he thought we didn't respect him when we gave him a rant about the Browns. And we said, we respect you enough. He said we didn't. And he left. And it is what it is. It happens, I guess. It didn't have to get to that because there was one thing he had to do and he refused to do it. And he went on his podcast to say he didn't want to do it, blatantly saying that he didn't want to do it. The one thing we wanted him to do. It was quite simple. It takes what Alex, 3 minutes?
Maybe at most.
Maybe at most. It didn't have to get to that point.
Just, get the link pretty much to post.
Right. It didn't have to get to that point. He let it get to that point. So just let it go. And so that's that. I'm just gonna leave it at that. And for the people that watch this that say that Alex and I don't respect Richie and Joe, go back and watch what I said episode 6 of Tailgate Talks. I said it's not just me, it's not just Alex. It's not just me and Alex. It is myself, Alex, Joe, and Richie. It's a team effort. That's how this got together. This is how it works.
Exactly. We can't do it without the people behind the scenes. We really can't.
Right. It's a team
without it.
Mm-hmm. It's a team effort, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm done talking about it. I'm ready to talk about some football. How about you?
Me too. We are not promoting any hate. We are not promoting anything. We are saying a situation merely happened. The situation was handled, and it's over. So, I mean, you guys might not have even noticed because a lot of it was behind the scenes stuff. So it doesn't even really matter. We just wanted to set the record right and make sure everyone understands that we want to do this for fun. We want to enjoy ourselves, and we want everyone involved to have a good time. So
it's for fun. It's for fun.
Exactly. We don't have a massive fan base. It's not, we're not on FS1 out here. We're not,
bragging about how many fans we got.
Even though I would consider me and Mike to be Skip and Shannon at some points, we're here for fun 90% of the time. And speaking of fun, y'all got like sports stuff on and everything. We got to get with the times, boys.
Yeah.
What to get with the program, brother?
We gotta get with the program. Y'all know what time of year it is? Come on now.
Oh, we gotta get with the program, Cade. No.
I know.
Crap. But yeah, so this is for fun, and I want to make one last thing clear. the show's not going anywhere. It's not declining. It's going up from the top from here. So whatever you hear that it's declining, that is absolutely false and is a stupid statement.
Absolutely.
We're going from Alex and I have plans to continue the show after we graduate too. So
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
We're not going anywhere. All right, Steelers, probably the most boring game of the year for Caden. Yeah, I was texting Caden. I was like, "Yeah, this is going to be the most boring game ever with Mitch Trubisky at quarterback."
Yeah.
But now, I'm gonna give this to Caden first. Now, obviously, when we say we're Kenny Pickett guys, when I ask this question, people are gonna go, "Oh, we know the answer." But other than your Kenny Pickett guy, Caden,
Yeah.
what's your biggest criticisms for Mitch Trubisky?
Like I said, at the beginning of the year, everybody thought, since I'm a big Kenny Pickett guy, that I wanted Mitch to fail, and that's like completely opposite. I'm a Steelers guy all the way. If Mitch was to win us the Super Bowl, I wouldn't be, wish Kenny would have won that. Obviously, I want Mitch to do good. I just think that even though he has been in the league for 6 years, his first year at the Bears, second year, he was a playoff guy. He just makes rookie mistakes as a veteran quarterback. He doesn't very much. He just kind of, I think he gets too scrambled in the brain and just tries to make some risky throws that he can't do at that level.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Alex and I pretty much were on the same boat with that when it happened. I mean, we wanted Kenny to play, and I do agree that Mitch should have started the year as it happened. You can argue, was it too soon for Kenny? I think no, because here's the thing. You go through the growing pains against the good teams like the Bills, Eagles.
Yeah.
Say what you want about the Bucks, but it's the Bucks, whatever. Dolphins. Am I missing anybody else? You go through the growing pains there, and look where he's at now, minus the concussion.
Yeah.
You going through the progression now. So it's I think starting him against the Jets, or not starting, putting him in against the Jets was the right move, because it's you're on the right track to get the hard times out of the way first, and then go to the progression. That's just my take on that.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Alex, you got stats on this game, or do you want me to take over? That doesn't matter.
I'll let you take the Steeler game. I got some stats later down the line for some other games. I'll let you take the stage for this one here.
All right, sounds good. As I need to find the notes I made for this. Oh man, but yeah, from watching the game, I mean, Mitch, he did his job.
He's
right?
very capable of playing a Cooper Rush, a Jimmy G kind of, a Brock Purdy kind of role now that Jimmy G's hurt.
He goes in and just kind of gets it done if he needs to get it done. He doesn't do anything flashy. He just
the flash is usually to the other team.
Yeah, yes.
Which you can argue Kenny wasn't that flashy, but at least you could see there was something going on there with his progression and everything. So you could argue that, but I think obviously Kenny, you got to keep Kenny in there, which Kenny is, by the looks of it, he is cleared to play Sunday. So
perfection.
Oh, before we forget, man, Franco Harris.
Oh.
Yeah, Franco Harris passed away yesterday at the age of 72, days before the anniversary of the Immaculate Reception.
And his retirement ceremony for his jersey number.
And now it's going to it's going to turn into a memorial game now, which, God.
I couldn't believe that.
Right. I was waking up to go to work yesterday, and I took a look at my phone, so I was tired, I was whatever. Then I see the Franco news. I was like, what?
Oh, it woke me up yesterday morning. Yeah, same thing. Literally woke up, turned my phone on, and was real tired. And then I saw that, and I was like, "Oh God!" and it woke me right up.
Yeah, man, it sucks, man. But all right. So the stats for the Steelers against the Panthers: Mitch Trubisky, 17 for 22, 179 yards. Backup quarterback, not bad.
That's efficient.
That's not bad. I mean, got the job done. Najee Harris, 24 carries, 86 yards.
A little under 4 per carry. That's not horrible.
It's not.
The Panthers' run defense played really good against Seattle the week before. So, Brian Burns, Derek Brown, all those guys, Shaq Thompson as a linebacker, all those guys are good. So,
right.
Najee finally starting to play consistently again.
Right. Jalen Warren, 11 carries, 38 yards. Then Deontay Johnson's with hands down Deontay's best game. 10 got the ball 10 times, 98 yards. Caden, you and I have complained about Deontay so much. I actually wrote down a couple notes as I was watching the game, and the very first note I wrote down was, "Oh my God, can this guy run forward, please?"
Yeah.
Like, what is he doing? The first down marker's that way, buddy. But he still had a good game, though. He
did.
Even though there was a very bad taunting call, which, come on, man. We'll get to Alex. Remind me. We'll get to Marcus Allen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Caden, what are your thoughts on Deontay, man?
I don't have anything against him. I love the guy. He's a great receiver. I mean, they set a stat where he's leading the NFL for catches and like receiving yards without a touchdown. He's just not getting the touches where he needs to get them. But I think the biggest thing to say about him is, it's funny, but he always ends up making nothing out of something that is there. Like you said, there'll be a wide open lane. Yeah. He makes nothing out of something, and it gets frustrating, especially because we haven't really had a game where we go in and we just take care of business. Like some of the mistakes that he makes could be crucial. So I think he needs to clean that stuff up and get out of his own head. But I don't know. It's a rough year for the Steelers. I think it's a rebuilding year. It'll get better though.
Yeah, I think it'll get better. I don't think Johnson's going to be on the team in the next few years. I think he'll be gone, in my opinion. I don't think he's worth. I don't know. You can argue he's not worth any draft picks, but you can roll the dice. Maybe have him throw him out there another year, and if it gets better, maybe you can trade him for draft picks. I don't know. But yeah, I just don't think he's going to be a mainstay on the team when they build around Kenny in the future.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
Because I just think George Pickens should be the first wide receiver one. He definitely should be. He should be the guy. Yeah. So speaking of George Pickens, he got the ball 2 times, 53 yards.
We just talk about the fact that George Pickens is almost a guarantee in one-on-one coverage on the sideline.
Every time.
I'm not making this comp because this is not a comp whatsoever. Not even close to the same caliber of players, but it's the same kind of throws that Aaron Rodgers was basically guaranteed when he was throwing to Devontae.
Right.
George Pickens and Kenny Pickett or Mitch Trubisky are not Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that is exactly what made the Packers offense good, is Aaron Rodgers could basically throw a back shoulder to Devontae one-on-one, and he caught it every single time.
Yeah, it's definitely nice knowing that we have a deep threat, that if a play breaks down and George Pickens is down there somewhere one-on-one, you have to give him a try. You can't not do that.
Elite ball skill, elite concentration.
Yeah.
And we were worried about the dude picking fights on the field in Georgia.
Yeah. My uncle's a Georgia fan, and he just always texts me going, "Oh man, George Pickens is a beast." And I'm like, "Yeah, he is." And I was like, "Yeah." And I remember when I asked him about him before the season started, it was definitely the first thing was attitude. And I was like, "Oh." So
Steelers receiver with character issues.
Yeah, I mean, so far there's been a couple problems, but not astronomical bad problems with Pickens.
No, not at all.
Sidelines. So I think I everything's fine so far. But I will say though, the game, I know I said it was boring, but that was a joke because Kenny Pickett wasn't in, because I'm a Kenny Pickett guy. But overall, but in reality, the game wasn't that boring because it was pretty chippy.
It was. Steelers went right down, scored. Panthers went down and responded. Steelers went back down, scored again. Kind of slowed down from there, but
yeah. But the first half, I'll admit, it wasn't that boring. I'll say that. It was just
they were getting scrums. It was crazy.
It just feels like it's been a while since we've seen Kenny Pickett, even though it has, because
facts.
He got a concussion, but yeah. So the Panthers, I mean, Sam Darnold, 14 for 23, 225 yards, 1 touchdown. I'd say, against the Steelers, not bad.
He didn't play bad.
No, he didn't play bad. The Steelers are super bend but don't break this year. The big thing was they shut down Deontay Foreman. They shut down, is it Chuba Hubbard, the other running back for the Panthers?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they shut down the two of them, which was kind of the big thing. They ran all over Seattle the week before, exposed them, and that's how they won that game. So shut down the run when they needed to, which was really important. TJ Watt had a good game. Finally, again, it feels like it's been a little bit since we said TJ Watt had a good game, but he had a good game. Highsmith, I would argue that they are the best edge rushing duo in the NFL right now, even over, numbers wise, they're better than Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, which I did not think I'd be saying at this point in the season, but
right. And
Chargers not being able to stay healthy, so we can do.
Yeah, when we had a lower draft pick, and I saw people saying that the Steelers should draft Will Anderson. I'm not trashing Will Anderson. I think he's good. I think he's going to be great. But they don't need him. They don't need him. So it's offensive line. Maybe Jordan Addison.
Yeah.
And but no, focus on offensive line with that second round pick. Okay, here's the thing. Second round. Okay, Alex, you can answer this too. And Caden, I think I know what your answer is going to be, but you can answer too. The Steelers' second pick they got from the Bears.
High second round pick.
If Jordan Addison is there, do you take him?
I feel like you've got to take a gamble on the college connection. It worked so well with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. Right. I'm not saying that it's going to happen again, but you can't deny the fact that, guys that played in college have a better connection than guys that have never played together before. So I'd say if you're in the second round and you land a Peter Skoronski or a Paris Johnson in the first round to shore up that left tackle spot, so god awful Dan Moore doesn't have to play it.
Oh
God.
Yeah.
Set that up in the first round, and then you can spend a second round pick on a really talented, a receiver that you say probably has the intangibles, not necessarily the size. He's a Devontae Smith kind of build. I'd say if he's there in the second round, he's worth a shot. The Steelers tend to draft wide receivers really well. So,
Caden, what about your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with him. You have to take care of what you need first. I know everybody loves the flashy picks, especially Steelers fans. Like he said, we're very good at drafting receivers. Everybody loves them, but you got to it doesn't matter if you have a great receiver. If your quarterback doesn't have time to throw to him, you just got to get that line built up, I think. And then second round, I think if we get a good lineman and we have that room, and after that second round, if we have enough picks and space that we can fill up our line even more, I think that's a good pick. He said college connection. That year, 2021, Kenny Pickett and Jordan Addison, no doubt in my mind, had the best connection in all of college football.
Yeah.
He's a Blitnikoff winner, wasn't he?
He was a Blitnikoff winner, and almost probably 3/4 of Kenny's passing yards were to Jordan Addison that year. Yeah. It was amazing. It was actually amazing to watch.
It was fun.
15 touchdowns. Yeah, monster season.
Yeah,
that was a fun year. Definitely my favorite Pitt year. Definitely. But yeah. So yeah, fake slide, dude. I remember I was going crazy when he did that fake slide. I was like, I looked down for a second. I hear hi, all right, and then he did it. I was like, well, first of all, no, he went to slide. I was like, oh, come on, all right, that's decent yardage. Then he fake slid. I was like, yo!
That was a beautiful moment.
Oh, that was so awesome. That was so awesome. And that was the year for Pitt to do it too. That was absolutely the year for Pitt to do it, and they did. So, and hey, the last ACC champs that also won the Coastal, because the divisions are going away. Brag, but good thing Clemson won the ACC this year. But I'm good for the Steelers Panthers. I don't know about you two. If you want to move on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Alex, you got other games you wanted to talk about, and I know one of the games, and I can't wait to discuss it.
Matt Ryan, biggest blown lead in Super Bowl history and biggest blown lead in NFL history. Here we go. Let's get it. Okay, starting off. Overall stats. God, yardage. Can't have enough of it. The Colts rushed for 171 yards after losing Jonathan Taylor, and I want to say the first quarter, like early first quarter. So that was pretty impressive for that team to show out like that on the ground. 6 for 19 on third down. Vikings went 5 for 15 on third down. It was a really sloppy game. The Colts defense looked like they were smelling blood in the first half of the game. They were really, really, really sending it after. God, the penalties, 20 penalties, 177 yards between the two teams. That's horrible. I'm trying to see turnovers. There was Matt Ryan again. Dude's just not having a great season. They're on Jeff Saturdays, their head coach. I know I went crazy for the Indianapolis Jeff Saturdays when they beat the Raiders in his debut, but it's not it. I know Jeff Saturday recently, actually the other day, just said that he is not swaying in his enthusiasm to win the head coaching gig, but come on, dude. Niners defensive coordinator, D'Amico Ryans is out there. There's some guys from college that are going to be out there looking for NFL jobs potentially. There's too many guys in the NFL that just, they have a chance. I still think it was stupid for them to fire Frank Reich midseason, but that's in the past. Matt Ryan, 19 for 33, 182 and a touchdown. So no picks for him on the game, which is actually kind of shocking this year. He's been throwing a lot of those. Zach Moss, 24 carries, 81 yards. Deion Jackson, 13 carries, 55. Actually, Jonathan Taylor didn't even get a carry in this game because he got hurt so early. Michael Pittman had 2 catches for 30 yards. That's kind of crazy. Pittman was the best receiver as well. He had 10 catches for 60 yards, which is a pretty down year for him, pretty down game for him. He's been having a really good season. He's been a monster wide receiver 2/flex for me in fantasy. Jelani Woods, who's breaking out ever since they played the Steelers, had 1 catch for 36 yards, which isn't a lot, but dude's been playing really good football recently. And then switching over to the Vikings, Kirk Cousins threw the ball 54 times for 460 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 picks, including a pick 6 that really made it look like Kirk was not that guy. But Dalvin Cook, 17 carries, 95 yards. Literally the only person on the entire Vikings roster with more than 1 rushing yard. I'm not even kidding. CJ Ham had 2 for 1 yard. So did Madison. Kirk himself had 2 carries for 0 yards, and Jalen Reagor had a carry for -5. So that's what, net 87 yards or something like that. Something ridiculous, or 92 yards. My bad. KJ Osborne. Where's this dude coming from? He caught that game winner against Detroit a couple weeks ago. 10 receptions, 157 yards, and a touchdown is pretty crazy. Justin Jefferson needs to average 114 yards over the next 3 games to break Calvin Johnson's single-season receiving yardage record, which is absolutely bonkers. He's at 1,600 something right now. He had 12 for 123 and a touchdown. Dalvin Cook had 4 for 95 and a touchdown, including that massive 64-yarder to tie the game, or to bring it within 2 for them to then tie the game. Thielen didn't catch a ball until the 4th quarter, I'm pretty sure, but he caught 3 for 41 and a touchdown in the 4th quarter, which was big for them. So obviously the elephant in the room with this game, Colts are up 33-0 at halftime. Biggest lead blown in NFL history, biggest comeback in NFL history, however you want to spin it to make it sound less horrible. And a lot of, to be fair, the Colts, it just started off, lucky plays. Kirk Cousins throws a pick 6. They block a that goes for a touchdown. And quite frankly, you look at the Colts, or not the Colts, you look at the Vikings all season, their defense isn't good. They allow a lot of pass yardage. They are not, they went from Mike Zimmer, Mr. Defense, to Kevin O'Connell, who's, chuck the ball all over the field, basically. Play action, chuck the ball all over the field. So this is not shocking. I think the Vikings are overrated as it stands. I personally think they'll get a home playoff game. They clinch their division with the win over Indianapolis, but I personally think they might win their home wild card game, and I think they're one and done after that. I don't think anyone they could play in the second round they're going to beat. They've already lost to Dallas. They've already lost to, other playoff teams in the NFC. I don't see it. Well, obviously, I don't see anyone besides San Francisco and Philadelphia being in the NFC Championship this year anyway. Even with Brock Purdy, I think that team still goes to the NFC Championship this year.
Yeah, that's fair. I really want to see Brock Purdy go to the Super Bowl.
Me too.
That would be a ginormous story if Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, leads the 49ers to the
Think
Super
about that. Think about that storyline. They trade up to draft Trey Lance. He doesn't play at all last year. He's named the starter this year. Gets injured and out for the season. Jimmy G comes back in, wins them more games than Trey. Trey Lance wasn't actually playing bad whenever he wasn't injured. They were actually had a pretty decent record with him. But Jimmy G comes back in, starts winning them games, and everyone's like, oh, maybe Trey Lance isn't needed. Then he gets hurt out for the rest of the season. And now Brock Purdy is 3-0 with the Niners now. came in, finished the Vikings game, beat whoever the week after, demolished Brady the week after at home, and then went out and beat Seattle to, I'm pretty sure, clinch that division. So the Niners are the equivalent in NFL to Ohio State in college. Any quarterback can go there with those weapons in that system and win football games.
Yep.
That's why I'm nervous about CJ Stroud, but that's a topic for a whole different subject of this entire. If we even get to that in this episode, we'll get to that some episode. Probably when we do our draft episode in the spring, we'll get into that more for sure. But
yeah, Caden's a big CJ Stroud guy, right? No.
Yeah, big game for Minnesota, big comeback. So good for them. They won their season.
Right. Caden, you got anything on the Vikings?
I watched that game up until I had to go to work. It was halftime, and I legitimately stopped watching. And my one coworker is a Colts fan, and he just starts freaking out. I'm like, "What are you freaking out about?" I was like, "Dude, they're up 33-0."
Great.
He's like, "Look at the score." And I looked. I really could not believe it. But at the same time, I honestly think that the Colts got somewhat lucky, and they started realizing that what the plays that were happening, touchdowns, that wasn't necessarily how they play. I didn't even think they know what to do once they had that lead. I think they got it and they just started like, oh, what do I do? I didn't think they knew what to do with it, and they just blew it, as we saw.
Yeah. So I think it was crazy because I was also at work when that happened, and I saw it was like 33-0, and I wasn't really paying attention to like what quarter it was. For some reason, I thought it was like towards the end of the game, and then I saw it was
half. Would expect towards the end of the game.
And I saw it was halftime. It was 33-0 at half, and I was like, "Wow, okay." I was like, "Good for the Colts." And then go to lunch, come back, and I see it's 33-14. I'm like, "Okay, I mean that's whatever. That's the Vikings." And then I check my phone 20 minutes later, and then I see it's tied. I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah,
unbelievable. How?
Seriously.
But so Matt Ryan. But the Colts are also going to Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Which I like Nick Foles, but like, why don't you take a gamble on Sam Ehlinger, a rookie quarterback? You just killed his confidence, probably, not starting him.
I guess they don't like what they saw in his very, very tiny sample size from earlier this season before Jeff Saturday got there.
I don't think that's fair, personally. See, I mean, I don't care, but like, that's literally the example of if the Steelers went back to Mitch Trubisky, that is exactly what probably would have happened to Kenny Pickett.
Yeah. Probably.
He's right there. So good thing the Steelers didn't make that mistake. But yeah, so Alex. Cowboys. Dude.
Cowboys. Second time since Dak came back from injury that they have had a multiple score lead in the second half, and he's thrown 2 interceptions and lost in the game. Let me just say, I hate Clemson. I'm with the rest of you lot. I hate Clemson. I hated Trevor Lawrence at Clemson. I got to crown him. He is the prince that was promised.
Yep.
As Nick Wright would say, appropriately. Jaguars, 500 yards of total offense in this game. The Cowboys' rush defense, we know, is not very good. 192 rushing yards on the game for the Jacksonville Jaguars offense. 8 for 12 on third down. That is ultra efficient. Super, super good. Cowboys went 9 for 16, which also isn't bad. They ran the ball well, as they have been all season. Dallas had 397 in total yards, so almost 900 yards of total offense in this game between these two teams. Trevor Lawrence just absolutely lights out game. And before I move on from the stat line, Cowboys only 2 penalties for 18 yards. Again, I'll quote Skip Bayless real quick. Mike McPenalty is, the he likes to throw around a lot with the Cowboys, but they've been playing pretty penalty-free football the past couple games, and Dak Prescott just hasn't been doing it for them. 35 minutes time of possession for Dallas to only 27 for Jacksonville. That's, typically you rush for 150 plus yards as a team and you own the time of possession by 8 minutes. That's typically a formula to win you a football game, but Dak didn't play great, but I mean, Jacksonville also committed 3 turnovers to Dallas's 2. They won the turnover battle. Dallas went +1 in the turnover battle, and they still couldn't get it done because their turnovers were more crucial spots. Prescott 23 for 30, which is a pretty good line for completion percentage, 256 and 3 touchdowns. But like I said, the 2 picks, one was really bad. I think he leads the league in turnovers in their side of the field or something like that. He turns the ball over like to give the other team a really short field like all the time. And then the game losing pick 6 in overtime, which quite frankly isn't really his fault. That's Noah Brown's fault. But again, another week of Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott going for 50 plus each. Tony Pollard went 19 for 75 and Zeke went 16 for 58 and a touchdown. So good game rushing for Dallas. Yet again, their O-line's playing better than they look on paper. CeeDee Lamb, big game, 7 for 126. Noah Brown, 6 for 49 and 2 touchdowns, but he, again, had that crucial drop in overtime that lost them the game. And then Trevor Lawrence, just monster game. 27 for 42, 318, 4 touchdowns, and 1 pick. ETN, 19 for 103. We all thought they were crazy for drafting ETN whenever they had James Robinson, but apparently we were totally wrong. Jamal Agnew, the dude that is superstar in Madden for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Three carries for 52 yards, and I basically highlighted the Jaguars. So, Zay Jones, my flex in fantasy this past week.
Yeah.
Picked him up off waivers like 2 days before the week started. 6 for 109 and 3 touchdowns. Christian Kirk, 6 for 92, no touchdowns, but that's a pretty good game. Evan Ingram apparently decided he wants to play football again. He had 8 for 62. So, Trevor Lawrence, you know, you gotta widely considered generational quarterback. You have a Super Bowl winning head coach in Doug Peterson, you know, the better Super Bowl winning head coach of the two that showed off this week. And this team is my Titans Bowl. They're maybe 1 or 2 games ahead of Jacksonville and already lost to them, and now they have to go to Malik Willis, which I'm excited for, but extremely nervous about. Jacksonville's a scary football team. If they make it into the playoffs, they could definitely give, you know, some home wildcard teams some issues. So we'll see how that goes for them. But good on Jacksonville. You know, down 17, down like 24-7 at one point, I think, or 27-10 is what the line was. I'm pretty sure. So good for Jacksonville. They're hot.
Yeah, you know TK's happy right now. You can say that. But Caden, you got any comments about the Jacksonville game?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us here are Clemson fans at all. I wasn't a fan of Trevor Lawrence, but you can't shy away from the fact that he's a great quarterback. He was great in college. I think his greatness is starting to come out now in the NFL a little bit more. I mean, the dude's great size for NFL quarterback. He can run, he can throw, he can make throws that a lot of quarterbacks can't make out of the pocket. He has, I mean, like we're talking about that college connection, ETN with him. I mean, he has good receivers. People are starting to come out. Jacksonville, if they get hot, like you said, Alex, they're going to be a dangerous team. They have nothing to lose.
Absolutely. I didn't even think to mention that, but you're absolutely right. This is a team that's very similar to Cincinnati last year. You know, they got hot and they were like, hey, this is already a great season. We didn't even expect to win more than, well, I don't know, 6 or 7 games, and here we are. We made the playoffs, and all of a sudden they almost won a Super Bowl. So,
yep.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I hope the Jags continue. Like, I hope they make the playoffs, and I'm saying that just in case in the future somebody watches this video and trashes me for trashing the Jags. But all right, yeah. If you know, you know. Okay, Alex, it's time. Rapid fire. Caden, I know we've talked about, like, I've mentioned me and Alex doing rapid fire, and I know Bryce was pretty excited to do the rapid fire. He actually came up with the idea of doing the bowl games. That was a good idea.
It was a good idea.
Yeah, I liked it. We can consider doing I think maybe like when it gets to like March Madness, or once the brackets come out for like hockey, do like a bracket competition. Like I think that'd be fun. Same to NFL too. For the NFL, do a bracket competition. Like, that'd be nice. But all right. Thursday Night Football. Jags and Jets. Jags, they're on fire.
Yeah, I'm going with the Jags too.
Yep.
Yeah, I got to stick with the Jags.
Yep. Okay. This is a tough one. You guys ready? This is tough. You guys aren't ready for this. The Bills at the Bears.
Is Justin Fields even healthy?
I don't even know.
I don't think so.
Even if Justin Fields was healthy, I'm picking the Bills.
Bills Mafia, baby.
Yeah, Bills. Let's go Bills.
Yep. All right. Texans at Titans. Hey, I don't know. I'm gonna go with the Titans. My gut feeling's the Titans, but like, hey, never say never.
Texans always get close. I feel bad for them kind of this year, but they're gonna blow it. Titans are gonna get the win.
Derrick Henry averages like 202 touchdowns every time they play the Texans. So,
right. Seahawks at Chiefs. Obviously, Chiefs. I can't bet against Mahomes. Giants at Vikings. I was looking at this on the list after what happened. I was kind of debating, but I think overall, the Vikings will have a comeback game here, and I think they'll beat the Giants at home.
I'm gonna go Giants.
I think the Giants want it more than the Vikings right now, so I'm gonna do the same thing. I think I'm gonna go with the Giants on the road for this one. We'll see.
Okay. Bengals at Patriots. Man, hold on. Last Patriots, man. Oh my God. I've never seen that before. I've never ever seen that before. That's crazy.
God. I can't believe Mac Jones actually took the fall for that one. I get that he's the quarterback and he's supposed to be accountable for his football team because he's the one that runs it, but I can't even believe they ran a play. I can't believe they ran a play in the first place instead of taking a knee and going to overtime.
Yeah.
Then Ramondre Stevenson laterals the ball. Horrible decision. And then Jacoby Myers laterals the ball. Even more horrible decision. And then Mac Jones, I don't know who in this world would expect Mac Jones to tackle Chandler Jones in that situation like that. Now, if he would have hesitated, because he did hesitate for a second, he saw the ball coming his way. If he would have went right at Chandler Jones from the time that ball hit his hands, we might be talking about this game differently, but you cannot expect a quarterback like that. I wouldn't expect any quarterback to make that play on a man that is 6'4", 260.
Yeah. Right. It's not going to happen.
Just brain-boggling decision by the Patriots.
Yep. Well, for the Bengals and Patriots, I'm going to pick the Bengals.
Me too.
Yeah.
Lions at Panthers. I'm going Lions, man. I'm on the Lions. I'm on the Dan Campbell train.
I am too.
Because
Lions.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Lions. I'll just say Lions are playing very good. I mean, they're a pretty consistent team this year. They're not amazing, obviously, but compared to last year, night and day.
Yeah, defense needs work, but one of the top offenses in the league scoring wise. So.
Yeah, I agree, and Alex, you and I had a conversation about the Lions before the season. You said Dan Campbell's going to change the culture there, and it seems like he's doing that. He's doing great. I am on the Dan Campbell train. Like, let's go. But I'm going with Lions. So, Lions it is. Falcons at Ravens. Is Lamar back or no? I don't even know. Is Lamar back?
I don't either, actually. I'm still going with the Ravens.
I'm gonna go with the Falcons. I'm going with an upset.
I don't think Desmond Ridder is going to know what to do against the Ravens defense, but we'll see.
No, not at all.
That's fair. Commanders at 49ers. Brock Purdy, baby. 49ers. I'm going 49ers.
Let's go, Brock.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Eagles at Cowboys. Ooh, I'm going Eagles, but that should be a good game.
Eagles aren't going to have Jalen Hurts 90% chance. I'm going with the Cowboys. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. Get it at home.
Cowboys.
Gardner Minshew, can have some faith, guys.
It's not going to matter. The Eagles are still going to seal up that division the week or two after. They finish with Saints. They finish at Dallas and then home against the Saints and the Giants.
Right.
They only need to win one of those to lock up the division. And realistically, probably the 1 seed because they already beat the Vikings, who are, I believe, the 2nd seed at the moment. So the Eagles only need to win 1 of 3 here to finish the season as the 1 seed and lock up their division. But I think the Cowboys will get it done this week.
Anything else to add on to that, Caden?
Oh, no, I agree with what he said. I mean, without Jalen Hurts, yeah, Gardner Minshew has made some good games. He has some fun games to watch, but I don't think he's going to get it done against the Cowboys.
That's fair. All right, Raiders at Steelers. With everything that's happened with the passing of Franco, it's not of who I think's going to win. It's just I want the Steelers to win this one. Even if the Steelers weren't my team, I would say I want the Steelers to win this one. I want Najee to have a 100-yard game. I want Kenny Pickett to do well. I want the defense to play lights out. I'll go with Steelers.
This might be the most passionate game of the season. The Steelers are playing for Franco, and the Raiders have won 4 straight. They are pretty streaky right now. I'm not saying they necessarily should have beat the Patriots this past week, but is it bad? I want to say they're going to tie.
That's fine.
I don't think they will. I don't think the Raiders defense is good enough. I'm going to go with the Steelers at home on this one, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go with the Steelers. I think it's going to be a very good game. I mean, the Raiders are on a roll. The Steelers are, it's Christmas Eve. It's always a good game anyway. But I think Kenny's back. It's going to be a good game. I think the Steelers win, though.
Me too. It's going to be cold. It's I think I read it's supposed to be -4.
Yeah, it's going to be cold.
Yeah, they're bringing back the block jerseys. That's going to be sick.
Yeah, I love those.
With those. But, I hope the Steelers get it done for Franco. But, all right, Sunday. We got 3 games, fellas. We got 3 games. Packers at Dolphins. Dolphins. I'm going Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Oh, no. No.
Who are the Broncos losing to this week?
The Rams.
Yeah. I can't go away from it. I said I'm never picking the Broncos the rest of the season. I'm picking Baker Mayfield and the Los Angeles injuries to beat Russell Wilson and Broncos country. Let's cry.
I don't like the Rams either, but I can't pick the Broncos. I'm a man of my words. I got to go with the Rams. No.
Yeah. I'm not going to pick the curse on the show, so I'm going to go with the Rams.
Yeah, I'm so glad our guests even buy into our doctrine.
Wait, didn't the Broncos win last week?
God, I couldn't even tell you because I don't pay attention. I'll look it up.
I think they did, which kind of ruins our streak. But Caden, not counting last week, ever since we came up with the rule of we're never picking the Broncos again, we have been right every single time.
I know.
They beat freaking what's his face in the Cardinals.
Go! Come on.
They beat
Colt McCoy.
They beat the
Trace
Panthers with
McSorley.
Colt McCoy and Trace McSorley this past week.
Yeah, McSorley's gonna bomb with the Cardinals. They're gonna lose the rest of their games. I'm calling it right now.
Lord.
Right now. Even though I would take him over Sean Clifford, let's say. All right. Bucks against the Cardinals. Bucks are gonna steamroll the Cardinals.
Yeah, I agree.
Trace McSorley at QB, like I just said, Tom Brady is just gonna. Oh my god, I'm gonna watch that game just for pure entertainment. All right, guys, this Monday night game, Chargers at Colts. God, who do I pick?
I'm gonna go with the Chargers. They're getting better.
Chargers all the way.
Yeah,
Chargers. But all right, anything else to add on about NFL, guys? Anything?
No, I don't think so.
No, I got nothing.
All right. Okay, so we got 3 quick mentions before we get to Pitt. Pirates signed Austin Hedges for 1 year, $5 million. Good defender, but these offensive stats are horrible. Last year was 163 average. The year before, 178. He was traded in 2020. Before he was traded, he batted 155, and then when he got to his new team, 0.83. Then 176, and then the last game he batted in the 200s was 231. He's going to be a bridge for Andy Rodriguez and Henry Davis. It is what it is. Now, I want to say this about Brian Reynolds real quick.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no, it's not a ramp. Okay, yeah, he wants out, but guess what? You want to know how many years of control he's got left? 3. So if Reynolds says, hey, Charrington, I'm unhappy, Charrington could go, hey, that's cute. See you in the spring. Because there is nothing Reynolds can do. There's nothing Reynolds can do. There is nothing he can do about it. because he's not going to sit out 3 years at his prime. So go play, pal. And the deal's not there. Maybe with the Yankees, I read, but like the deal's not there. So I think we're going to see Ryan Reynolds in a Pirates jersey in 2023. That's what I'm going to say. And that's plenty of time to smooth things over too. That is plenty of time. But they're going to screw it up. So I'm not even going to get my hopes up. But yeah, so that's that. Now Argentina, they won the World Cup. I'm glad for Messi.
How about
Messi, that game was crazy.
Yeah.
That was so good for Argentina. And then the Pens. I mean, they did their winning streak did go away. Beforehand they had a 7-game win streak.
Wow.
Big. So they're up there in the standings, and then they beat the Rangers. I think it was like 3-2. Crosby had the go-ahead goal, and I know Malkin had a goal. So yeah, that's good.
No.
So before we move on to Pitt, do you guys have anything to add about the Penguins?
They definitely picked it up. They're third in the Metro now, only behind New Jersey and Carolina, which are both good hockey teams. Only behind by max 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
They're 19-9-4 right now, so they're not doing too bad. Good thing they got hot. They're definitely in contention for the Metro now. So
yep, we want the cup. We want that cup.
Yep.
we want Stanley back home, baby.
Yeah, if Malkin, Letang, and Crosby don't win another cup, I'm gonna be done. But Kate, you got anything to add on to about the Penguins?
No, not really. I just I just want to see another cup. That's all I want to see.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So so Pitt, but I wanna show you guys something. It's a pretty cool bobblehead that I got right beside me. It's a Steelers bobblehead. And number 8, the one, the only, Tommy Maddox.
You actually got me on that. I was so ready for it to be Kenny Pickett.
That was the only reason why I said that joke. Like when you guys were talking earlier about the Steelers, I looked down to the left of me because like this is no longer my room, and then my brother's stuff's in here, and he had a Tommy Maddox bobblehead, and I was like, oh, I got a joke later on. I'm saving it, and I got it. So I'm gonna definitely screenshot that later or screen record. But all right, so we got about 15 so minutes to talk about Pitt, Caden. So all right, so overall Pitt season. Well, if they win their bowl game, they're 1 game worse than they were last year. I would definitely say it was an up and down year, though.
Extremely. It was just, and I don't know if you want me to get into it now with the 2 quarterbacks. I had some stats I wanted to kind of compare to show that I have no idea. So how Mike said, we are 1 win away from being a loss away from last season. And so Keaton Slovis this year was 184 for 315 on his attempts. He has a 58 completion percentage, which isn't awful.
No, it's not the worst.
Yeah, it could be worse. He had 2,397 yards, and then here's the real stunner right here. He had 10 touchdowns and 9 interceptions.
That's bad.
I'll tell you what, it is a good thing that Israel Abanikanda, our running back, went absolutely off this year, or we would have won 1 game maybe.
For sure.
Maybe.
Yeah, and Izzy
We
did
barely
go.
beat Rhode Island. Come on.
Okay. We're sorry. We love the lovable losers. Not Ohio State, who's always in the playoffs. Not almost for the playoffs, but always good every year.
And I wanted to get in the Kenny Pickett stats from last year. So just remember the stats I said previously. So he was 334 for 497 on attempts, 67.2% completion, 4,320 yards, 42 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions.
Good for a lot of records at Pitt.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve to be a Heisman finalist because he didn't face anybody.
He's got small hands.
Small hands. He's not gonna be a starter in the NFL when he took over as a starter in week 4. Get out of here.
It's crazy to see the stats from this year go from 10 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, from last year 42 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That blows my mind, honestly.
He threw the ball a lot more times too.
Yeah, a lot. Narduzzi and our coach, he came out publicly and said that he does not like throwing the ball. Our offensive coordinator last year kind of forced it down his throat a little bit. Narduzzi just loves running it, old-fashioned football, and that's more what we did this year because we kind of had to. Keaton wasn't very playmaking, but off here, but overall, I am very happy for what we have this year. 8-4 right now, could be 9-4. I'm not mad about.
Right. I think next year they really got to try to get the ball together in Bartholomew because he is a beast. Especially that play against Tennessee when he leaped over. I was there in person. I was like, it was crazy. The whole place just exploded when that happened.
Yeah,
Lord,
that was great.
But like games like North Carolina, they were. I mean, I thought they were good, not great, but good. So I can accept losing to North Carolina this year, but the games against Louisville, Georgia Tech, those losses. Come on,
you can't lose those games, especially Georgia Tech. That was bad. The Louisville game, their quarterback's a good runner. It's hard to stop sometimes, but Georgia Tech, there was no reason to lose that game.
They should have beat them. I was there in person. It was cold. It was God. Top 10 worst Narduzzi game all like of his career at Pitt. Really, I was texting you. I was like, this is definitely top 10 worst. I even remember like Tyler Boyd and like who else? It's like Tyler Boyd and maybe James Conner tweeted WTF Pitt. Like,
yeah,
I believe we lost to Tech. Like, they're right. We should not have lost to Tech.
Whose offense is still stuck in like 1963.
I know it was so bland. Like and then we'll go out the next week and we'll blow a team out of the water. That's our week to week inconsistency for Pitt is just horrible.
Right. I mean, Caden and I have seen games like that where that's happened before. So it's like we've seen it before, but it's still very frustrating every time it happens. But yeah, and also the Tennessee loss, they fought. I'm not mad about that one against a team that almost went to if they still had Hendon Hooker, they probably would have made the playoffs. Like I'm not mad at that loss.
We played like 2 quarters almost with Nick Patty, and he had a hurt ankle also. So
yeah.
Right.
I'd say you'll never hear me say this, but I think if Keaton would have stayed in that game, we might have actually won.
That's fair.
He was passing great that game. I think in 2 quarters he had like upwards of 220, 230 yards passing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was just on fire. He just looked electric. It was pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, it was. All right, transfers. What do you got? What do you want to talk about with transfers, Caden?
It's more the decommits. I mean,
yeah. But hey, Fowler, the wide receiver, they got him back because they saw. I feel like because my dad made a good point. I think he maybe just saw the quarterbacks coming in, and maybe that was it. I would say.
I think a lot of people were scared of Keaton if he was staying.
Yeah,
if I was a receiver looking to go big time, I wouldn't want him passing to me either.
Right.
I mean,
I agree. So what do we got for the decommits, I guess?
The quarterback, what was his name? Kenny
Midge. I can't even pronounce the last name, but
I was a big one. He was a 4-star. He looked good. I mean, a lot of good things from him. Then, I mean, I didn't think Slovis was going to stay. I thought Nate Yarnell, he's all right. You don't know, though. You guys kind of play him and see how he does. But that quarterback decommitting kind of hurt because we don't get many transfers to Pitt anymore. Last year, whenever we got Slovis, that was the first bigger transfer, I guess you could say, we've gotten in the last 10 years.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, it's definitely been a bumpy road for the transfers and decommitted, but I feel like it's been better the last few. Like it seems like Pitt, minus like the guys that decommitted, they really pretty much almost got the guys they wanted, I would say.
So they have, and I think that Penn State quarterback's gonna do all right. I mean, he comes from obviously Penn State's a pretty cultural school for football. They have a great they have a good program. I think he'll come to.
That's for us to admit it. They have
even though I don't like Penn State, but I think he's gonna be all right.
Yeah. Yeah, there's obviously other reasons why we hate Penn State, but
there are others.
If you know, you know, Jerry. So is there anything else with the transfers you want to talk about, Caden? And I first of all, before I forget, do you think the Penn State guy will start, or do you think Jerkovic will start at quarterback next year?
I think Penn State guy's gonna start. I think they're gonna hide it until a week or two before the season, like they did with Slovis and Patty, because you can't just bring a quarterback in and say you're starting when you have 3 guys down the line expecting to fight for it too.
Right.
They're gonna have a fair competition, but I think he's gonna end up starting. I don't see a way we can go downhill from a quarterback from this year. I mean, 10 touchdowns, 9 interceptions is nothing to brag about. I don't think he's going to do worse than that.
Mhm.
Hurts with Izzy leaving.
Yeah, I agree. And Narduzzi did take a shot at Slovis. He did say about Phil Jurkovic, he brings leadership to the position that maybe we didn't lack a year ago. You ain't talking about Kenny Pickett, I can tell you that right now.
I think Keaton Slovis lacked leadership a ton. I mean, you could just tell when he was out there, he's not communicating well.
I agree.
It really didn't look like he memorized the plays all that well. I mean, over half of his picks were just really dumb plays. Just didn't even make sense why he threw the ball.
Yeah, and I mean, Alex, you're obviously an Ohio State fan, and you pay attention to Pitt.
I do.
What were your overall thoughts looking over at the highlights and the decisions that Keenan Slovis made? Obviously, it was stupid with the picks he made, but yeah, Slovis. We said it so many times on the show. He was not the guy.
He is really, 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 really bad pocket presence.
Yep.
Horrible.
God awful. Helen Keller level. I hate to say that. I hate to, name drop a famous person on this show like that, but legitimate, just I have no physical senses pocket presence. I think Mike's dead over there.
No, I mean, he would just be standing there and a guy would be rushing at him. He just wouldn't move. Instead of going forward, sideways, or just going to the ground, he'd run back 10, 20 yards.
Yeah, he's really bad footwork too, and I mean bad mechanics. It's my biggest knock on Mitch Trubisky is he has really inconsistent mechanics and really inconsistent footwork. It's actually, you want to talk about someone that I can really take a knock on that's crazy to take a knock on. And it's my biggest knock on Patrick Mahomes too. Is he's got the Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre kind of mentality. He's just a slinger and he's an improviser, and most of his picks are just ill-advised hero ball kind of throws and just bad footwork. So
yeah.
But you guys are on the Penn State train with that transfer quarterback. I'm on the Jurkovic train. I think he's going to be the starter. Again, it may help that I have a little bit more firsthand experience watching him shred teams in my district. So, winning states and winning district championships and just making everyone look stupid. And he committed to a Power 5 school like Notre Dame for a reason, even though they're not in a Power 5 conference, but everyone still considers them a Power 5 team anyway. Right. I don't get why they're still, speaking of which, I don't understand why they're still independent. I don't understand why they don't just join on the Big Ten or the ACC. They could join either one at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
With where they are location wise, either one is feasible for them. I don't understand why they haven't.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Caden, is there anything else about the commits or decommits? Anybody else you want to talk about?
I don't have anybody in specific. I really hope, because this is going to be a down year for sure. We're unsure for quarterback. We're losing our star running back. Jared Wayne, our receiver, is leaving. Almost our whole O-line and D-line is leaving. Yeah. Brandon Hill, our safety, is leaving.
I'm okay with Hill leaving because he gives what's-his-face a chance. I can't remember what his name is, so apologize.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah, but the commits, there was a running back I liked. I can't remember what his name was. That I can look up here real quick, and yeah. So I mean, yeah, it will be a down year because I know who they got next year.
I mean, yeah. Think about it now with all the players leaving. I mean, who's your cornerstone defensive player? Probably MJ Devonshire at this point. He probably
Devonshire
this year. He's a local.
It's not that I think. Yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but it's not that I think it's going to be a bad year. It's just a very unsure of everything. There's just a lot of uncertainties. We don't know who's coming up, who's playing what. It's just there's not a whole lot to talk about for the next year.
Yeah,
I think this is probably, looking at it now, super, super early. I'd say this is probably a 6-6 or a 7-5 season next year for Pitt.
Yeah. I was about to get to that too. So I can go through the games here, and you guys can go win, loss, or whatever.
Yeah.
Werford.
Oh yeah, they're a team that Clemson usually annihilates in the first 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah,
so that'll be a win.
Yeah, Caden.
Yeah.
Cincinnati at home.
Cincinnati. I'm going. I think we're actually gonna get the win. I really do.
I think so too. I don't really know what Cincinnati's going to look like next year, so I'll go home win for Pitt there.
Yeah. All right. So we're running short on time, so this is gonna have to be like
Yeah.
our rapid fire.
Yep.
When it's
Sorry,
commercial.
my thing was cutting out a little bit.
All right. At West Virginia. Dub.
I think the culture is gonna stay with us winning against West Virginia.
Me too.
Yep.
Yeah.
At Duke.
It's a big travel. I think that might be a loss. I'm going to say that's their first loss of the season.
That's gonna be one of those games where it's like, even though Duke's not great, we're gonna go there and just fumble the game.
Yep. At Notre Dame. That's a loss.
That's a loss, yeah. I'm going to say that's a loss.
At Syracuse.
Win.
Win.
I think we're good enough.
Yeah, I think we beat Syracuse.
At Virginia Tech. I'm going loss. This is going to be the one Pitt. It's going to be a stupid loss that Pitt always has.
Yeah, I'm going to go with loss as well.
We usually beat them, but I just have a feeling it's gonna be an L.
Yeah. At Wake Forest, loss.
Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah, probably loss.
Boston College. I'm going to win.
Yeah, me too. I
I'm gonna
will.
win.
Yeah.
Florida State.
Florida State's going to be good next year.
Yeah, I'm going to go loss.
I'm gonna go. We're gonna surprise Florida that game.
The one Pitt W that surprises them. Louisville.
Probably a win.
Probably win.
Yeah.
North Carolina. I'm gonna say depends if Drake May is there. If he is, loss. If he's not, win.
Yeah, same. If
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Offer from another school or not.
Yeah. That's. But we can talk about a lot more about Drake May next week because we are out of time. Caden, I want to thank you for being on the show. And yeah, so we actually have 2 episodes next week, and one of those episodes is going to be with my dad's longtime friends who was a coach in the NFL and
crazy
is a coach in the Canadian Football League for the Toronto team. They actually won the Grey Cup. Mike Miller is going to join us on the show next week. We're going to have two episodes next week. Alex and I got some homework to do, and we'll do that. So we'll do that. So once again, Caden, thank you. And Alex, you want to do the paper toss real quick before I hit stop recording?
I don't have any paper. Shoot.
You want me to do it? You want me to do it?
Yeah. You got it.
This is my big time to shine. I've been waiting for this. Boom. I'm not used to the paper toss, but all right. We will see you guys in next week.